Hi guys, Jurassic Junkie here and welcome to another episode of Start and Finish. So on the last episode I did admit this episode's about Catherine and I did actually already complete it. Got a bit of a back catalogue of stuff to actually go back and review. But yes, Catherine, is it worth buying? So first of all, Catherine is actually an expensive game. It goes for around about £25 to £30, even second hand. First I thought I'd wait until the price would drop, and because it wasn't dropping I just went out and purchased it anyway. And it's definitely a game which is different from everything else. Now, we actually play the game as a guy called Vincent Brooks. Vincent's a typical guy who's got a girlfriend, he's young, he's got a job, but the relationship's gotten a bit strained at the moment simply because his girlfriend Catherine, which I will point out now is spelt with a K, is simply putting a bit of pressure on, simply saying, should we start to get married, come meet my parents, we should be having children soon, and it's kind of freaking Vincent out a bit. So Vincent sets off to the bar, as most men would do in that situation, and knocks a few drinks back with the lads. But at the same time all this is actually happening, there's a few rumours going around that a few people, especially young, around of Vincent's age, have been dying in their sleep, and people are calling it the woman's curse. And nobody knows why these men are dying, they've just been found dead in bed. So at the same time as all this is happening, you can hear this on the news. At any point you can go up to the TV and actually watch the news and find some more information about it. But as I said, Vincent's knocking a few back with the lads. Then the lads go and leave him, and he hears the door open, and in pops another lady by the name of Catherine, spelled with a C. So Catherine C sits down, talks to him, and they kind of hit it off quite well, and he's like, why can't my girlfriend be like you? And then, let's just say, the rest is history, and he wakes up in the morning and she's in his bed. So now Vincent's a naughty cheat, and what happens is now that he's a cheater, he's noticed that when he goes to sleep at night, he now enters this dream world where he's actually played as like a sheep. So you'll have horns, but you'll actually bump into other people within the dream world who are complete sheep. But as he talks to them and interacts with the different people, you'll actually find out these are all people having that same dream. So all these men that are cheating are all being put into this cheating dream world. Now the actual dream world is just a complete puzzle game. So when you actually start, there will be some blocks along the bottom, and all you have to do is advance to the top. It sounds quite simple, and I was actually put off by playing this game because I thought, how can they actually make climbing blocks enjoyable and get more difficult over time? And they've done it perfectly. There's different types. So for instance, if you went on an ice block, what motion you was doing would continue across all them blocks and you could fall off the edge. And it gets difficult very, very quick. But the actual way you play the game is very enjoyable, and half the time you actually spend doing the puzzle going, I can't wait to get in the real world to interact with people, but when you're interacting with people you also can't wait to get back in the puzzle world. So it's got a good amount of content. But when you're actually in these puzzle worlds, the idea is to get all the way to the top. When you're at the top, you'll be able to talk to a few more sheep, ask them some questions, and just try and find out some more information about what's going on. But when you've decided that you're done and you want to leave this realm, what you'll do is you'll go to like an elevator, and what I'll call by the name of The Voice simply will always ask you a question. Now these questions are quite interesting because they'll actually ask you, the player, questions about marriage or would you cheat on people, and questions are the kind of questions you probably, if you want to answer truthfully, is when no one else is around, because they'll be asking you simply things as, do you like younger women, and they'll actually get quite into trying to learn what you think about women, so you might want to answer them with no one watching. But with that, every time you answer a question, it will actually affect your morality meter. So all the time it'll be fluctuating a bit left and a bit right. So at first I didn't know how this would affect the game, so I just played it honestly and thought how I'd actually want to play this game. The dream world is set up into 8 nights, so every single night you go to sleep you'll get a different level, and each level sometimes will have 3 puzzles to do, some have 4, some have 5, but at the end of the set of them puzzles, just before you wake up, you'll always be chased by a boss. Now this can vary from your actual current girlfriend, or it can actually be your unborn child chasing you, and they're quite really freaky things that actually chase you through the game. But once you've done all that, you wake up again in your bed. More than likely Catherine's by your side. You can't quite remember how she got there, but it's always probably going to be the fact that you always end the night in the bar. And then for the rest of the day you'll have to do normal things. So for instance, Catherine with a K, your girlfriend, will want to actually go out for drinks, and then you'll have to interact with her, but you can actually respond to her in different ways, which also affects the morality meter. Now at the end of the day, and these days are relatively short, you'll always end up back in the bar again. Now when you're in the bar you can just, like I said, just chat to the lads if you want, but you can actually get out your seat and interact with the people around you. Now there's 2 girls that sit behind you that will actually just spin tails and make you more confused than anything, but if you want you can go to the bar, have a drink, interact with the people. You can even play in-game games and actually change the jukebox, so it does actually feel like a living, breathing bar. But also one thing I would mention is when you're actually in the bar, it's worth drinking, because if you actually get yourself drunk, you actually become faster in the dream world because your brain's working more active. Now most nights Catherine will pop by with a C and you can actually talk to her, but if not, she's always texting her along with Catherine with a K. Now when you actually go to text these girls, you actually have multiple responses, so you can actually pick and choose sentences and send that, and again that will affect your morality meter. But if you actually do well with Catherine with a C, she'll actually send you dirty picture messages which you can't actually see while you're sat there because people are looking, so you actually have to go off to the toilets, sit down and actually go through your phone and look at these picture messages. So it's a very adult oriented game. So when you come to the end of Catherine, it is actually a fun joy to play all the way through because, as I said, you want to actually see how these characters progress. But at the end I was actually surprised. I thought it would just finish, but I was really shocked when I found out there's actually 8 alternative endings. Now depending how your morality has been throughout the game and how much interest you spent with one particular woman will actually affect the video that it gives you at the end. Now I managed to nail the worst possible ending I got with no women, and I finished off getting knocked over by a car, which is absolutely awesome. But I went straight onto YouTube to look at the other 7 alternative endings, and there is some crazy endings in there. So the game is absolutely bonkers all the way from start to finish. It's completely different to anything else I've played, and the puzzles in it are very challenging but at the same time enjoyable. So is Catherine worth getting? Yes, under one condition: you sell it straight away, because as I said, the price tag at the moment is far too high for actually the amount of time you get out of the game. I think I completed it around about 15 hours, maybe 20, I'm not 100% sure, but the idea of actually going through it again, I probably would do it. There is some multiplayer elements which are fun and you can do it with multiple friends, but the thing is, I think once you've played this game, you've enjoyed it and you just need to sell it on again because it keeps its value and it's worth selling on and buying yourself another game. So Catherine, definitely crazy, adult, good fun, but sell it on. So with that review in the bag, the next game I'm going to be playing is Just Cause 2, and I've actually completed 1 or 2 games since then, but I don't really want to review them because they're nothing amazing. So Just Cause 2, I've just popped that in, played about 2 hours of it so far, impressed by the sheer size of the sandbox, but I won't go into reviewing that at all until I've completed it. So thank you very much for watching guys, cheers, bye.